So we're following some news this morning regarding Prince Harry and his wife Meghan. The couple were involved in a car chase with photographers yesterday. It's according to a spokesperson. That person says the chase occurred in New York. It is being described as, quote, near catastrophic. Imtiaz Tyab is in London with more on this. So, Imtiaz, we have this statement from a spokesperson, and I guess there are a number of questions. What do we know about what happened?
Hey guys, you're right. Look, this information is just coming in, but it sounds like a pretty terrifying experience for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. They were leaving what was their first appearance since King Charles's coronation, which of course Harry came for very briefly. Meghan stayed in California because it was their son, Prince Archie's birthday. But there they were in New York, attending a gala at the Ziegfeld Ballroom in New York. Again, as we're saying, their first public appearance. The Duchess of Sussex was there talking about the women's fight for equity at the Foundation for Women's annual gala, and now we hear what happened afterwards. They were essentially chased through the streets of New York. And, looking at this statement, guys, I mean, it is pretty terrifying. I mean, it says here, the chase could have been fatal. It involved half a dozen blacked out vehicles with unidentified people driving recklessly and, quote, endangering the convoy and everyone around them. It also lists a number of violations, which include driving on the sidewalk, running red lights, reversing down a one-way street, and on and on and on. It also says that the individuals involved were confronted by uniformed police multiple times and that they continued to speed off and continue to pursue this convoy that the Duke and Duchess were in. Now, the family say that they were staying at a private residence. They did not want to compromise the security of their friend's home, but when there was footage taken from security, or rather they say that they have footage that supports this timeline and these circumstances. But again, I think the one thing that's really standing out is the phrase, quote, near catastrophic. And the reason that phrase sticks out is, of course, we can all remember 1997 and what happened to Prince Harry's mother, Princess Diana, as she was chased by paparazzi in Paris and lost her life in a Paris tunnel. Prince Harry has talked at length about how, of course, that would be traumatizing for anybody, let alone a 10-year-old boy who lost his mother, and how throughout his life this particularly poisonous relationship with the paparazzi was something that he deeply feared, and it was a fear that he had for his family as well. And now we have this near catastrophic experience that he's had with the paparazzi in New York.
We should also point out, Imtiaz, as you know, that the statement is coming to us from a spokesperson for the Sussexes, and when they say near catastrophic, they don't say for whom. We assume that they're talking about the Sussexes, but when they, in the statement, reference pedestrians and a New York Police Department officer, too, in fact, who may have possibly been involved in harm's way, one might also wonder if the near catastrophe was for those pedestrians or for the New York police officers who might have been perhaps in harm's way. So I just want to throw that out there because near catastrophe, it doesn't say to the Sussexes in the statement. It says it's just sort of a general statement.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the Sussexes would probably argue the fact that anybody could potentially be hurt or harmed because of the actions of paparazzis is catastrophic, right? It's dangerous. I think the bottom line is this, is that, rarely do we have statements like this, certainly from senior members of the royals. And of course, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are very distinct from the royal family, as it were, when it comes to sharing their experiences, particularly at the hands of the paparazzi, at the hands of the press. It's obviously something that they've spoken to at length. In fact, if anything, we can even go even further than that. It's the reason why they step back as working members of the royal family. And it also, if we want to expand the aperture even wider, Prince Harry is involved in a number of legal cases here in the UK, and part of it has to do with his concerns about how the paparazzi would treat him and his family, specifically their safety, whenever they are in the UK. In fact, he's involved in legal cases involving the Home Office, which is, the domestic sort of government body here that looks at internal security and that sort of thing, basically saying, hey, I will pay British police to protect me and my family when we're here in the UK. And they're saying, no, we're not going to do that. You're not a working member of the royal family. And this has now become a lawsuit. And the reason he doesn't want private security and wants to have security that is provided by the Home Office is because that's the very same security that is used to protect his father, the king, his brother, the second in line, or the first in line to the throne, Prince William. These are people who are highly trained to protect members of the royal family. And so this is something that is very clearly on Prince Harry's mind. It's very clearly something of deep concern. As we were saying earlier, we can only look to his own past, look what happened to his mother, to underscore why he feels this way and why he feels so strongly. And now we have this very detailed statement from yes, the Sussexes describing an incident that took place last night, and them going as far as saying that there is security footage to support this timeline of evidence and circumstances. And one would imagine if they are saying that they will be providing that information. They'll certainly be asked for it. And of course, we do need to hear from the New York police. What do they have to say about it? They are referenced a number of times in this statement. You know, again, as you rightly pointed out, Vlad, that this near catastrophic incident involved New York Police Department officers. And if that is the case, these are pretty serious allegations.
Yeah, definitely. Imtiaz, thank you very much.
Thanks for jumping on this, Imtiaz.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.